Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
All right.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. And today, brothers and sisters, I am so happy and so delighted we finally get to talk to and interview a brother that lived in the same dorm that I lived in. Brother Eddie Mack, what's going on? How are you, man? Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Kev? I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. So let's get real improper, so to speak. So
right.
Your real name is Gary McKethan, correct?
Yes, McKethan. Yes, sir.
McKethan. But I've always been calling you Eddie Mack. How did you come about the name Eddie Mack?
Oh, okay. Well, that's one of those college things. So,
all right.
So the story was, Friday night.
Yes.
Friday night in the dorm.
Yes.
You know how the fellas all hang out.
Absolutely.
And I think that night it was like wintertime and nobody was having a party, so everybody's just in the dorm. Just somebody made a beer run.
Okay.
And so it was alcohol involved. The good stories always got alcohol involved.
Absolutely.
So we sit around drinking, and people started twisting everybody's names around.
Yes.
So my middle name is Edward.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, they started twisting my name around. They started calling me, dropped my last name,
yes,
and was calling me Eddie McGarry.
Got you. Okay.
Eddie McGarry. And then it went from Eddie McGarry to Eddie Mack. Some kind of way it stuck. And
Got
then the rest is history.
Got you.
But that's one of several nicknames I have accumulated over the years, in my 59 years.
So, because when I came to Pitt, I met you, I was introduced to you as Eddie Mack.
Yeah, that's what everybody called me. Pitt.
Yeah.
Everybody Pitt. So actually, my first nickname came from birth.
Okay.
Right, and my first nickname was Stuffy. Stuffy.
Stuffy. Gotcha.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everybody that grew up with me in the neighborhood, that's what they called me.
Okay.
Right. They called me Stuffy.
Yes.
And then, so when you run into people, if me and you were together and we ran a group of folks, based on what name they called me, you could tell what part of my life they're from.
Absolutely.
And then, I answer all of them. And, some people, you got some people now where, you older now, so I'm going to call you Gary.
Yeah.
But if they call me Stuffy all my life, it don't sound right. Just like you got people that call me Eddie Mack. There's people that Pitt that call me Eddie Mack that never knew my first name.
Well, I got to be honest. I got a confession. So I never knew your complete name until I think you and I became friends on Facebook. I'm like, that ain't the same person.
Well, yeah, but that's true though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. and I'll tell you, one thing. I ain't gonna mention the guy's name, but in '93,
yes,
we you remember Butch?
I remember
From
Butch.
DC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me, Butch, Tony, Bush had an idea. Bush said, "Look, man, you know what I want to do?" He said, "I want to have he said, you got people that come to college that may not have graduated,
yes,
but they might have been there for a semester or a year or two, but their personalities were so great. It made an impression on you, right?"
Absolutely.
He said, "I want to have a get together, just not necessarily graduates, but Pitt folks. What you think?"
Yes.
I said, "All right, man, that's cool." So in '93, we put together a DC Pitt reunion.
Okay.
And we know back in '93 with no internet, none of that. So it's like, hey, if you invite you tell your people, I tell my people. We got 300 people to show up.
Okay. Wow.
And so we had people register. People registered, and wasn't no PayPal and Cash App and all that. Folks was sending checks in the mail, checks and money orders.
Yeah.
And there's one guy who do me real well. He from New York. He called and had questions, right? And we talking. And he's like, "Man, I'm talking to you, man. I know you." I'm just laughing because the thing was, it said contact Gary McKethan.
Yes.
Right? And he didn't know my name.
Yes.
He knew me by Eddie Mack.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there. I'm laughing on the inside. I said, "I'm going to ride this thing all the way to the reunion."
Yes.
I said, yeah, man. I'm sure we do. I said, when we see me, when you see me, I said, you be like, "Oh, okay." And then when he saw me, he like, "Man, stop playing."
Yo, I would have asked for 2 checks, one for Eddie Mack and one for Gary.
Right.
Oh, man, this is great. So I think I'm a day late, but I just want to wish you a happy Founders Day. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Thank you, bro.
Good. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
I'm still trying to figure out, when does Phi Panther Soul, when do we have our Founders Day? I can't remember the date, but that's another story.
But boy, ain't you the founder?
There's quite a few of us. Charles Smith, Ironhead, Tinsley, Reggie. There's a few of us. So we have to get together and decide, when is our Founders Day? But that's another story, bro. We just going to pick a date, right? But listen.
Pick a day and make it happen. Ain't nobody going to dispute it.
Ain't nobody going to dispute it, right? Right? It's our story, right? But let's really get started, though, man, because I wanted to interview you because I knew that you were just like profound history in the making as far as Black culture was concerned on campus. And then what you're doing now, and then what you did briefly during 9/11, right? So let's start from the beginning. Yes. When you came to Pitt, was this like culture shock for you? Or you knew what you were getting into? You knew that there was going to be, racism? What did you think when you came to Pitt from D.C.?
Well, I'll say it wasn't culture shock.
Okay.
But the thing was, so me coming from D.C., so D.C., people call D.C. Chocolate City.
Yes.
And, it was a majority Black city, right?
Yes.
So going to college, I was looking for diversity,
okay.
Be in a different environment. Now, growing up in the teens and stuff, I had gone to a couple of summer camps and, diverse crowd of people and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But, just want to do something different. So got up there and, woke wasn't a term back then.
Okay.
But, you just aware, you just know certain things like police and this, that, and other. And it's like, you just, as a black male,
yes,
you just got to be alert.
Yes.
So I think that came from just city awareness.
Okay.
So you get up there, you see the stuff play out, and you're like, wow, because like Pittsburgh, when I got to Pittsburgh, D.C. at that time, the police dog was a German Shepherd.
Yes.
Got to Pitt they had Rottweilers. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That whole thing. So the culture thing, I think the shock for me was coming from like music and entertainment, because the music, like DC, man, we had 3 or 4 Black radio stations.
Absolutely.
You got the Pitt, they had Whammo.
Yeah.
And then
Slide Jock.
The music wasn't the same. You turn on the news, there's not as many Black people on the news and stuff. And then the other thing I think that helped was because even though Pitt being a predominantly white institution, there was still quite a good number of Black students.
Yes.
And there were students, like when I got there were students from, basically you had people from D.C., Philly, New York, New Jersey area, Baltimore. And then you had Pittsburgh, and you had other folks, other places, but those like your main folks. So then you get there and, you got folks from your area that already know the lay of the land and can help you, navigate that thing.
Yes.
And then I also you didn't meet him because he was gone when you came. One of my best friends, see, 3 of us from my high school, well, 4 of us were coming to Pitt freshman year.
Okay.
And 2 of them went up there in the summertime. They were engineering students, so they went there for the impact program. But after that, one decided to go to Tuskegee, but the other one, that was like one of my best friends. And so he had been up there 6 weeks in the summer. So when I came up and, he already had stuff down pat, you get up there, sure they do this or watch out for that. So,
yeah.
I had like a little guide when I got there. And then, we just, you just keep passing on. And other brothers come along behind us, and it's all the same.
Okay. Now, was the Black Action or Student Union active when you were there?
Oh yeah. They always been active.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd always been active the whole entire time. My freshman year was 80.
Okay.
My freshman year was 80. I that's another story. But I changed majors. I was actually up there 6 years. Okay. But and put in there, I graduated.
Absolutely.
But I changed majors.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's the thing. So I tell everybody I got a degree and a wife out the deal.
Yeah.
But
well, you say a degree and a wife.
And a wife, yeah, and a wife. So
yeah.
So that was my freshman year, 80. But from 80 all the way up, Black Action Society was always integral part.
Okay, and so with that, did you feel like you were missing something as opposed to not going to a historical Black college?
Actually, no.
Yeah.
Because, we talk about this now, just like some of the folks I still stay in touch with from Pitt, is that we carried it like we were at a historical Black college.
Yeah, and that's the same conversation I had with quite a few people too. There were so many of us, we never felt like we were missing anything because, we had Jack Johnson, Jack Washington, we had Dr. Vernell Lilly, and they all kept us, close to the vest in terms of what the African American pride should be about, right? So we never really missed anything, right?
No.
Yeah.
Those are good times back up there. And and that's the thing we're trying to do now is, like with the Black Alumni Association, is trying to recreate that now for the kids that's up there now, because Pitt changed some of the stuff as far as recruitment efforts and all that. We're trying to get recruits like, you need to bring in more African American students.
Yes.
And, basically almost like starting over again.
Well, absolutely, because times are changing, right? But
times are changing.
But the good
news.
My daughter's
in 12th grade now, and and Pitt is one of the schools she applied to, and so people say, oh man, I don't know why y'all applying to all them schools, because she gonna go to Pitt, just like her mother and father went to Pitt. And I'm like, no. I say the thing is, the main thing for us was 2 things. The main thing for us is, one, that we find the school that's the best fit for her.
Absolutely.
Number 1.
Yes.
And then number 2 also is that financial piece. You can work it out financially.
Yes.
But I said, we took her up there. She toured the campus and everything, and she liked it. It's on her list. It's one of her top 3 choices.
Okay.
But what I tell people is, the Pitt. We not one of those people who's like, well, you know what, like her mother's AKA. So mother's not like, well, I'm AKA, you gonna be AKA.
Mm-hmm.
You find your own way. You find your own way. You create your own path. And one of the things is like being up Pitt now. Like if me and you were at Pitt now, it wouldn't be the same as we were back in the 80s. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, your spirit, your image looms large. So it's best not for your daughter to go there. They're like,
man, nobody up here remember me. Don't nobody remember me.
Yo, that's Shorty from DC.
Right.
Yeah, but now how was dorm life for you? Was that good for you? Was that a good experience for you, the dorm life?
Yeah, because actually, like I said, I was up there 6 years, and the whole 6 years I stayed in the dorms.
Okay. Now where'd you?
I made one mistake.
Okay.
I made one mistake, and the mistake was, I'm an only child.
Okay.
And I don't know what was going through my mind at the time.
Okay.
But see, one of the things, too, a lot of people don't realize, I think Pitt's one of the few schools at that time that you come in as a freshman, that you could get your own dorm room. A lot of schools, you come as a freshman, you got a roommate or a couple of roommates.
Yeah.
But Pitt. I mean, it was a lot of freshmen that stayed in the Reds. A lot of freshmen that had rooms in Tower C.
Okay.
Now, for some strange reason, my stupid self, like, you know what? I want a roommate. I don't know why I want. So freshman year, I was in the Towers, and actually, the guy I wanted to be my roommate, the one I told you that was like went up there 6 weeks early.
Yes.
His finances wasn't right. So basically, by the time school started, it was too late to pair me up with him as a roommate. Okay. And actually, the other guy that left to go to Tuskegee was going to be my roommate. Okay. Which was cool too. So then I had a guy that I didn't know, and the guy I didn't know, we were just talking about this the other day. He had some hygiene issues. Okay. First semester. Yeah. First semester. So semester like 15 weeks.
Yes, sir.
I don't think that dude took 10 showers in 15 weeks.
What? Oh man.
Dude, he'd get up in the morning. Yeah. He'd get up in the morning and go to his dresser drawer, throw on some clothes, and out the door he go.
For the whole day. Wow.
And, you get back up there in the fall, September, around late August, September. It's still hot up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. But he stayed a semester.
Okay.
Then he ended up getting his own room over in Tower C, which was a good thing. And then my buddy who I wanted to room with initially, eventually we became roommates. Okay. They had a fire up there. That year. It was an off-campus apartment building. Okay. That completely burned up. No one got hurt. Okay. But basically everybody was in there, lost their place. Yeah. So what they did was, that was right near the end of first semester, so they went and put them up in, they would find them space in dorm rooms. So when my roommate moved out, I had a guy from Pittsburgh that was in the apartment that they put him in the room with me. Okay. But that was temporary until they could find permanent housing for him. Yes. But it was cool because he was from Pittsburgh, so pretty much he was hardly ever there. Okay. Weekend I didn't see him. Friday, like, man, good weekend. Okay. He come back Sunday night. Yeah. So him, and then when my buddy came, that was cool. But then the next year, that's how I got over Lothrop in 81. In 81. Okay. I mean, 81, 82. Okay. I got over Lothrop, and then I stayed there till I graduated. Okay. Now,
because my freshman year, I was on the second floor in Lothrop, and we were all of my roommates were ball players. Chuck Williams, Dexter Harrison, Terrell Austin. We were all roommates. And then my sophomore year, I moved to the infamous third floor, right?
There you go. You stepped up, baby.
Stepped up on the third floor.
So you was using one of those triples down at the end of the hall?
Yeah, I was at the quad. As soon as you got off the elevator, you make that left-hand turn off the elevator, I was right there. Because
gotcha.
Some of the floors, they were turned into lounges, but there were so many students that year also in 83 that they had to turn, overflow. Yeah, they had to turn some of those lounges into rooms.
Into quads.
And they did
right.
that. Yeah.
I remember that.
And so after my freshman year, I said, I need my own room. I got my own habits. So I moved
you need a space for all that
my equipment
you had up in there. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was good for me, man. So we had a good time. And then at the end of my sophomore year, we moved off campus with John Carter and Beebe, Mark Hall. We all moved to Concord Avenue, north side. And we had a little We had a little duplex, triplex over there, which was
the north side. Y'all was fancy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how fancy we were. We lived a block away from the Heinz Ketchup, right? And on Concord Avenue, beautiful houses, right? But I don't think they've ever seen black folks. So they looked at us like we were like unique, some brand new feature, So
some specimens, huh?
Yeah. So thank God, one of John's sponsors at that time had a house, and so we lived on the other side. They had a duplex or triplex, and we lived next door, and so that's how we were able to find that location. But yeah, so it made all of my years wonderful, great experiences. But now I just want to jump back into you being a Sigma. Mm-hmm. Was that helpful, and when did you decide to make that leap to become a fraternity?
Sophomore year.
Okay.
Sophomore year. So I got some funny stories with that too, because when I came up there, I didn't know anything about fraternities and sororities.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
And so I'm learning on the fly. Well, you get up there, they had the parties, and you go. And he's like, oh, okay, I see what's up.
Yeah.
So the two stories I tell freshman year. Come in the Towers lobby one night.
Yeah.
I think this was like in October, and I think every black person on campus was in the Towers lobby about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Right? I mean, it's packed in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on?
Okay.
So somebody said, oh, the AKAs taking on the line tonight.
Yes.
They're gonna bring the Ivies through. That's what happened. Every time somebody took on the line, then they come in the Towers lobby, and then you see the line for the first time.
Okay.
That first night, and they do a step show.
Yes.
Or whatever, little presentation, and start the pledge process. So everybody want to see who's on the line and see their friends and everything, right?
Okay.
So everybody's out there, right? Like I said, I don't know nothing about fraternities and sororities. Now, AKA is a sorority, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that much, Eddie.
yeah. Well, at the time, I'm like, I said, oh yeah, for real? They said, yeah. I said, well, how many dudes they got? Right? And like, nah, man, sorority. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, my bad.
So that was that, and then they come through, and they had the show, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Now, me and my man come from a Pitt game one Saturday.
Yes.
This is October 2. So we come back from the game, and we go into we come in the Towers. Instead of going to the rooms, we going down the cafeteria to eat dinner, right?
Yes.
So just going to go down the steps. In the Towers, you go down them steps to go down to the cafeteria.
Yes, sir.
Something caught my attention out the corner of my eye.
Okay.
I'm like, wait a minute. So I go down to the other end. There's a guy standing there. He's got on a white robe, right?
Okay.
He got a white robe on. He got on some black slacks. He got on dress shoes. And he's holding a brick in his hand.
Okay.
He's just staying straight ahead like he's in a trance,
Yes.
right? On the floor, it's like this sheet laid out on the floor, and it's like all different kinds of paraphernalia.
Yes.
Paddles and books and different things, right? Pictures and candles burning, right?
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know about fraternities and sororities. I'm thinking it's some kind of cult, right? I mean, what's going on with this thing, right?
Yeah.
So look, this is probably gonna have you laughing. Somebody say, oh, he's pledging Sigma.
Okay.
And this is his last day online. So he has to stand there like that for 5 hours.
Wow.
So this is what I said out of my mouth. And I said a curse word.
Yeah.
I said the S word, right?
Yeah.
I said the S word, and I said, ain't no way in the world
Yeah.
I'm going to stand somewhere holding a brick for 5 hours.
Yes.
With dress shoes on.
Yes.
So that was October 1980. March of 1982. Guess what I was doing?
Yeah, you standing holding a brick with dress shoes on.
For 5 hours.
For 5 hours.
For 5 hours, too. Yeah. So, I'm sitting there looking, meet people and everything, I know folks from all the different fraternities, and I just decided that because the Sigmas, you could go online your second term freshman.
Okay.
But that wasn't the thing. And then summer and then come back in the fall. I said, you know what? I just wanted to try it out to see about the whole mental aspect of going through the whole pledge process.
Yes.
And if that's something that challenge myself.
Okay.
And then to me at the time, the Sigmas just best fit my personality. So that's what I did.
So speaking about personality, what was your personality, Eddie Mack? What was your personality?
I don't know. I just think I'm
You was just like laid back.
I'm more laid back.
Okay.
More laid back.
Okay.
I mean, I like to have fun. I mean, you talking right now. I mean, that's a tribute to our friendship because it's just we haven't talked a lot. You kicking on Facebook, but folks that I'm cool with.
But that's more
flows.
typing. That's more typing on Facebook. That's why I don't
talk.
Yeah. That's why I don't talk too much. Cause I hate typing.
Me too. Because some stuff be going there. Some people call me, man, because I can talk better than I can type, and some of this stuff ain't. I see people on there be typing typing novels. I'm like, I ain't got that kind of time.
Yeah, right.
My head's starting to hurt.
And I'm on my cell phone. I got you. Yeah.
But, I mean, I love people. I mean, I'm a friendly dude, and I mean, it's like you treat me right, I'm gonna treat you right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, I ain't hating on nobody. I ain't hating on nobody. I like to support folks.
Yeah.
And somebody say I'm doing this. A friend of mine today, she puts up on Facebook posting. She's got she does credit repair.
Okay.
And I was reading the stuff that she was saying. I'm talking about clients that she has that.
Yeah.
Basically, when it came to her, they told her they'd been to other people, and the folks basically ripped them off. But I know she do good work. So when I finished reading the post, I shared it and said, hey, and unfortunately, thankful right now, my credit's good. I don't need the service, but I'm like, hey, somebody on here could read this might know somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this can help you out.
Absolutely.
So that's
okay.
me.
Yeah, no, I've found all of our times together, man. They've been a blast. And probably most of them have been blurs between the loud music and the drinking. I can't remember much, but that's okay.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's still here though.
Absolutely.
It's still here, and there's more time to create more.
Absolutely, yes, sir. So you do the Sigma thing. Mm-hmm. That's been good for you, and so after that, you think about what was your major while you were at Pitt?
So my major initially was pharmacy.
Okay.
I was in the School of Pharmacy.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the grades didn't pan out. So I had, pharmacy, when you go through pharmacy program, basically they got set program. This year you're taking these classes. The next year you're taking these classes.
Yes.
And pretty much if you fail a class this year, you can't move on to the next year until you take that class over and pass it.
Got you.
Right.
Okay.
So I got behind because microbiology was kicking my butt.
Yeah.
And I repeated microbiology, and basically as I repeated, I passed it, but my grade point average wasn't where it needed to be. So what happens then is basically they put you on suspension for like 6 months. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you could apply to get readmitted back to the pharmacy program. But I sat there and I was looking at the time, that's when I was there 6 years, because I had been there at the time 4 years. I went into the program after my sophomore year. Most people go after their freshman year.
Yes.
So I went after my sophomore year. So this is junior year, going to senior year. So I said, well, you know what, I need to change majors. So I switched to communications because I need to change something that I could get out in 2 years. Yeah. So that's what I did. I switched over to communications and then came out in 86.
Okay. Now, when you and I got reacquainted, right? You were a fireman. How did you make that transition, brother? What were you thinking about when you said, I want to become a fireman?
Well, that that was kind of like the fraternity thing. It's like one of those things where fire department never crossed my mind. Yeah. Because when I graduated from Pitt, so my last 2 years at Pitt, I had a summer job at AT&T.
Okay.
I worked at AT&T in the summer.
Yes.
So when I graduated from Pitt, I really didn't have a job lined up, and the AT&T summer thing came around again, and I'm like, okay, well, I ain't got no job, so yeah, I'm gonna work here. So when I started working there, some kind of way conversation one day, it was like, well, I'm graduating. I'm not going back to school in the fall because I graduated. They say, oh, do you want to be permanent? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I ain't got no job, So I'm made permanent. Okay. And I'm working there and just, making my mark and working my way through the company.
Yes.
And my mother, so me and my mother, we read newspapers. We were serious newspaper readers.
Yes.
We read 3 papers a day.
Okay.
The Washington Post, the Washington Times, and USA Today. So my mom's a more detailed reader than me.
Yes.
She reads everything. So usually when I come home, because at the time I was still living at home, me and her, she would see articles in the paper that she's like, well, you know what, he ain't gonna see this, but he need to see it. So then, she'll have a little paper clip, turn pages back, little paper clip. Hey, check this out. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I looked. One of the things she clipped back was, this was 1989. Okay. So I've been at AT&T since 86. So, 3 years. So they said that they were getting ready. The fire department was accepting applications
Yes.
because they were going to give an entry exam later on in the year.
Yes.
And this is the first exam that they had since '84. Because what they do, they'll give a test. So they give a test to several thousand people,
Yes.
and you get a written test, and you do a physical agility test, and they do background check and all that. And then
Yes.
from that, then they get an eligible list of people, and then from that list, they'll work that list for a few years.
Okay.
To the list get ready to run out. So they did one in '84. So that list was about to run out, so they needed to do another one.
Okay.
So I look at it and I read it, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. What you want me to read that for?
Mm-hmm.
And we're on reading the rest of the paper, right?
Okay.
So I forgot whatever the deadline date was. Deadline date was a Friday. That following Monday, they put another article in the paper and said they didn't get enough people to apply.
Yes.
So they were extending the deadline date by another week.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, when I saw that, something just went over my head and said, why not?
Wow.
Because at the time, the salary for the fire department was about $1,000 more than what I was making at AT&T.
Okay.
And where I was working at AT&T, at that time I was working in, it's called Manassas, Virginia, which from my house was like 38 miles from my house.
Okay.
And so I'm like, well, shoot, I can, I work closer to home. Schedule don't work as much,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much making the same money, but it's going to be more money because I'm not spending as much on gas and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ain't got to buy no clothes because you wear uniform.
Yeah.
So the problem was that you had to go get an application from personnel, and personnel closed at 4:30. I didn't get off work till 4:30.
Okay.
And don't get back in the city at 5:15. So I called down, and they said, well, no, you got to come down. I said, well, man, I'm working in Virginia. I'm not going to be able to make it. And she was like, okay, well, what's your address? And she sent me the application. I think I got it on a Wednesday in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Filled it out, and it was postmarked. It'll be postmarked by midnight Friday. I think like 7:30, 8 o'clock Friday night.
Yes.
I was dropping it off at the post office.
Wow.
And then took the test.
Yes.
Took the physical test. Went through the whole process.
Yes.
And when the dust settled, it was 966 people who were qualified,
Yes.
and I was number 12.
What?
So what that meant was that the classes usually was like 23. They were bringing a class of 23, 24 people at a time.
Yes, sir.
So that meant when they started up, I was going to be in the first class.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So then
awesome.
went there and then, went through that whole thing. And then that was 15, training academy was like 15 weeks.
Yeah.
And pretty much that was just like pledging all over again.
And you running up and down these ladders, carrying these hoses, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, then trade academy was intense because the thing is they got to prep for you for what you're going to face out there in the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you had PT every morning,
Yeah.
and the guy that did that, I mean, he was real strict, but I mean, he got you right.
Wow. So
He got you right. I went down there, weighed 193 pounds,
Yeah.
and then when 8 weeks later, I was like 177.
wow. Well, first of all,
Yeah.
man, I want to thank you for your service, your dedication, and your commitment. Because when I saw your headshots, I'm like, man, that's my dude. But how did this transition happen? Because I didn't see Eddie at Pitt being like physically inclined.
Oh, well, dang. Okay, well, okay.
No, I mean, I never saw you at Trees Hall, going to the weight room, anything. But I know how physical and demanding being a fireman can be. So and now that you're retired from such, I'm saying, brother, thank you for your service and your commitment. And I know there was a few times your station was right across the street from the Green Turtle. Remember that in D.C., downtown D.C.?
Well, no, that wasn't my station. That's not my station. But that's close. No, I'm a little bit close further down. I'm not too far from there.
Yeah, because I know.
But I've worked in there a few times.
Yeah,
so.
a few times.
Right across the street from the gym, from the basketball arena.
Yeah, because a few times I've come down, we were hanging out at the Green Turtle, and I tried to make it a point to see you. And I think one time I caught you at that station. So yeah. Now, so again, just thank you for your service. Now I wanna fast forward to 9/11. What was going on in your life, and how did you respond to the attacks at the Pentagon?
So we were. So the thing was, the first thing that everybody remembers is that it was like that morning was like it was the perfect day.
Yes.
Temperature wise, it was just nice. The sky all that day. So we came to work that day. That was a Tuesday.
Yes.
And being in I'll tell you like this: being at the firehouse.
Yes.
Because we work a 24-hour shift. So
Yes.
so those as listeners don't know, in DC we work what's called 24 on, 72 off. So you come to work at 7 a.m. The shift starts at 7 in the morning.
Yes.
And you work till 7 the next morning. So if I came in this morning Monday,
yes,
I'd be there till 7 o'clock Tuesday morning.
Yes.
But then I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
I come back to work Friday.
Got you.
Right? So, and pretty much, the people that you work with, you work with the same people all the time. Except when somebody takes off or they're sick or whatever, then they'll backfill with other people. But you got your regular crew.
Yes.
So, regular crew at my firehouse was just like being on the third floor of the Reds without the drinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was, because everybody's pretty much around the same age, and it was just fun.
Yeah.
So we had, which we still have, we had a fantasy football league.
Yes.
And the guy I was playing, I'll never forget this. I think Miami Dolphins played that night on Monday Night Football. I had Ricky Williams, and I was losing before the Monday night game to this guy. And
Yes,
Ricky
sir.
Williams scored 2 touchdowns, and I won.
Yes.
So get to work next morning, we did, talking trash about that. They thought you was going to win, blah, blah, blah. So then we had to leave and go to the training academy because, see, when I retired, I don't know if I retired as what's called a foam unit technician. I drove a specialized truck.
Yes.
Well, we had just got a brand new one in. And that day, 9/11, we had to go down to training school to train on it because the representatives from the company that makes it, they come down and teach you everything about it.
Yes.
So we down there, we outside. We outside doing that. And my buddy David, the one I do the workouts with now,
Yes.
he got a phone call. It was a guy that worked the day before. He was still at the firehouse. He said, "Hey man, I'm just calling. I'm watching TV and they just showed on the news plane hit World Trade Center." So it was like, "Oh wow, that's kind of messed up, right?"
Yeah.
So we went on back to our thing, and then he calls back and says, "A second plane hit." So then we're like, "Oh wow, yeah, there's something going on."
Yeah.
And then people that was inside the training academy, inside the building, because
Yes.
their TVs and stuff, they start coming up to them, "Man, y'all heard what happened?" Yeah. So then the training school is right by a national airport.
Yes.
So we seeing planes flying national airports, but something just ain't seem right. Then all of a sudden we just saw this trailer like tan gray smoke.
Yes.
I wonder what that is. And then somebody ran out and they was talking about everything's canceled. They just, folks come out running out like, panic.
Yeah.
Everything's canceled. Respond back to your firehouses. They don't know to respond. Because if it's not an emergency, you just drive back to the firehouse.
Yeah.
Right? They want lights and sirens. Respond back to the firehouse. Plane just hit the USA Today building. So on the other side of D.C. and Virginia, by Georgetown, was 2 twin high rises. And one of them was USA Today building.
Now let me stop you
So
for a
that's what
second.
they said.
Yeah, because we never heard that one. I never heard that one before. That the
Well, the
plane.
USA Today building?
Yeah, never heard that one.
Well, no, I'm going to tell you why. Because then we got in the fire truck,
Got you.
and we're going down the highway, right? So we're going down the highway, the side I'm sitting on, I can look and see the smoke.
Yeah.
It wasn't the USA Today building. It was actually the Pentagon.
Oh wow. Got you.
But see, when stuff happens, that kind of stuff happens, you get all types of misinformation.
Yes.
So I said, "Oh, no, I need to get the Pentagon." So I said to myself, see, now, well, another thing a lot of people don't realize is the Pentagon is not in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
It's in Virginia.
Yes.
Actually, that's Arlington, Virginia. So I'm sitting there thinking, like, we know Arlington Fire Department ain't that big. I said, we probably going to go over there.
Yeah.
So we get back to the firehouse. So we get to the firehouse. I had a camera in my car
Yes.
from the weekend. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go grab my camera. But when I went to grab my camera, I walked past our TV room.
Yes.
And at the time, the first tower had just collapsed.
Yes.
But see, because we've been out all day, I didn't know what was going on. And, you just see all that cloud.
Yes.
And what I assumed was, I didn't realize that the tower collapsed. I just assumed the thing was on fire. So That caught my attention, right? So I never made it to the car to get the camera. So as I'm standing there, then they put the call out. Sure enough, they start sending units over to the Pentagon. And,
Wow.
Our unit was one of them. Because,
Wow.
see, our truck, we got ladder trucks. So for those that did, with fire trucks, the ones where the guys drive the back, that's
Yes.
the ones with the ladders.
Mhm.
But ours, no one drove the back. And in the front, we got like a platform bucket, kind of like what you see like the guys in when they're working on electric lines.
Yes. Yes.
So only had two of them in the city. So it's like a specialized piece.
Yes.
So they sent us and some other, it's quite a few people over there from D.C.
Mhm.
And then we just went over there. When we got over there, they gave us our assignment, and then we went over there and went to work. And we stayed till about 6. Because what they did was, they got this thing in emergencies, where basically what they do, because that was emergency.
Yes.
Basically, I told you we work one day and we off 3 days.
Yes.
But they called everybody back to work.
Got you.
Everybody from every shift was supposed to come back to work.
Got you.
So some of the other guys came and relieved us that night. And then the fire truck actually stayed there like 4 days.
Wow. 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 How? But I mean, how was that experience? Were you concerned? I mean, what was going through your mind at that time?
Well, yeah, it was concerned because that was like one of the only times, it's like you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because when we got to the Pentagon, basically before we did any work, everybody we gathered in a group in the parking lot.
Yes.
Right. And they were telling us, they said, well, they got reports of planes coming at a high rate of speed towards D.C. like 15 minutes out. And you don't know where they're going to go. They're going to the White House, they're going to go to the Capitol, they're going to try to hit the Pentagon. Didn't know, right?
Yes.
So you had that uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the report they were talking about was actually the plane that ended up crashing in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So had that, and then the next thing you know, something else came up, and they had another report or something where they told everybody basically to take cover. So everybody started running down towards the river. Okay. Right? Just left the truck where it was. It just ran on down to the river. But that ended up being false. Okay. But then as the day went on, this was like before noon.
Yes,
but as the day went on into the afternoon, then more and more agencies and people, and it was just a lot of folks there. Okay. Folks bringing Gatorades and snacks and stuff. Okay. All kinds of stuff. Just the support was phenomenal.
Yeah, I can
and
imagine.
Then as that went on, then it's like, wow, you just like, and the other problem was that you couldn't make no cell phone calls because the cell phones was all jammed up.
Wow.
Because see, the city was, people was evacuating the city, going home, getting out of Dodge and all that.
Yeah.
Because actually, one of the things was too, when we pulled out the firehouse, it's like about 6 homeless guys that hang out in the area near the fire station, right?
Yes.
And when we left out, it was like a lot of people in the street because people were leaving to go home.
Yes.
And it was just a lot of hustle and bustle, right?
Okay.
And these 6 guys was just sitting on the wall chilling. Like it's just another day. I was looking at them as we pulled out the firehouse. And I was sitting there looking at them for a hot second like, man, right now I wish I was one of them.
Yeah.
Because they were just, I'm like, I don't know what we getting ready to do, but, they seem like they're good.
Yeah.
But, so I was was concerned, but you got a job to do.
Yeah. Now, just a personal question: when you're going through training like this, or when you go into a situation like this, in your training, do they prep you for never leaving a man behind or a comrade going down? How do they train you for such, or there is no training for that?
Well, one thing they got to say, it's supposed to be like the 2 in, 2 out rule. Like you're not supposed to go in and do stuff on your own.
Yes.
Freelance by yourself. Usually you go as a crew.
Gotcha.
But the thing is, every unit, like we'll take a regular house is on fire.
Yes.
Right. So if a regular house on fire, DC. What you're going to get is somebody you call and say, hey, man, my house on fire. All right. So what they're going to send out is they're going to send 4 engines. So the engines is the trucks that carry hose and water.
Yes.
right? Now each engine got 4 people riding on it:
Yes.
driver, officer, and 2 guys in the back,
Yes.
right? So you're getting 4 of those. Well, now you're getting 5 of those now.
Okay.
So that's 20 people, right?
Yes.
You're getting 2 ladder trucks. That's with the ladders and the tools. They got the saws. They got generators. We got lights in case, the place, because usually the place on fire, you ain't got no electricity. So,
Yes.
you can see all that, right? So those carry 5 people each.
Okay.
So you got 10 of those. So you got 20, you up to 30. You got a rescue squad. Rescue squad's job is to like go in and search for trapped people.
Yes.
So it's 5 of them. So just say 20, 30, 35, and you get a battalion chief. So the battalion chief is like basically going to be like the on-site supervisor.
Okay.
And he got a driver.
Okay.
So it's like 37 people. You got 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 vehicles.
Okay.
Oh, and they'll send an ambulance or 2. Each ambulance got like 2 people.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, everybody, each one of those units, everybody's got a specific job to do.
Yes.
And based on how you dispatch determines what you're going to be doing.
Yes.
And so, and then when you hear how the call comes out, you already know when we get here, we're going to be doing this. When you get there, you're going to be doing that.
Okay.
And so, pretty much, very rarely is it somebody by themselves.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and see, now they got a thing called, this happened later on, where they implement this training down Training Academy, what's called Save Your Own.
Yes.
So basically what we do is we practice stuff like in case something does happen where a firefighter gets caught in a situation.
Yes.
They report a mayday, like our bottles. And if you ever watch, like, when 9/11 come around next year, it's going to be all kinds of specials on like they do every year.
Absolutely. Yes.
And if you watch one of them after the building collapse,
Yes.
and you'll hear all these alert like high pitched
Yes.
alert tone.
Yes.
Basically, what that is all our bottles, our air bottles, the harnesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a alarm system on it that basically, well, it's not motion activated. It's non-motion activated.
Got you. So if
So
there's,
as long as you're moving around, it don't go off.
Got you.
But if you fall down somewhere, like you get knocked unconscious,
Yes.
then it'll start beeping.
Okay.
And see, you hear that beep, that's what that is.
Okay. Wow.
When you see it on TV, it's like so you got that. But if you got somebody that's trapped, that's conscious, they'll call in what's called a mayday. They call the mayday and tell them say where they are and everything. And then we got different scenarios to train. And then what they'll do is they'll dispatch crews that their job is just to stand by outside just in case something does happen.
Got you.
And then they spring into action. So, I mean, you only do as much as you can, and each situation is different.
Yeah. Now, you go through that experience, and again, just thank you for your commitment, thank you for your service. You go through that type of call, and how do you go back to normalcy? When does normalcy for you? When does normalcy for your personal life? When does normalcy for the I guess the firehouse go back to normal, if there's such a thing after something like that?
Well, that's that's person by person.
Okay.
I mean, for me, the thing that for me that was odd was like once when 911 hit, they grounded all the planes.
Yes.
Right. So they grounded all the planes. So later on, when planes started flying.
Yes.
Like maybe like the first couple of days.
Yes.
And you hear a plane. When I heard a plane, I'd freeze for a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, got you.
And then after a while, yeah. So I was. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I was good.
Okay. And so, I mean, listen, man. I can't thank you enough for your service, because I just don't know if I have what it takes to do what you've done. So again, just thank you for your service and your sacrifice. So we fast forward a few years, right? Here comes time for Eddie Mack, Big Gary, to retire. When does or when do you start thinking about this entrepreneurial venture? When do you start thinking about your next step into retirement? When do you start thinking about that?
Well, actually, with the entrepreneurial thing, I'm a real estate investor, so
Yes.
and I mainly buy, look for properties to buy to fix and flip or hold on to for rentals, and
Yes.
and a few other things. So actually, I started getting involved with that actually in 2002.
Wow. Okay.
That was like a year after 9/11,
Yeah.
and because at the time, from 1993 to 2003,
Yes.
I also worked part time at Home Depot. I was a cashier at Home Depot.
Okay.
So I worked part time, and the reason I did that because when I came on the fire department in '90, one of the things was I was like, I want to buy a house,
Yes.
and went to home counseling programs and all that. And I had just bought a car like 6 months before I came on the fire department. So they said, well, your credit's good, but the income ratio is bad because you got this car loan.
Yes.
So I was like, okay. So I worked overtime, and some of the overtime money I used paid the loan off real quick.
Yes.
So once I got the car paid off, then I went back and they said, well, hey, everything's good, but what you might want to do is you need to build up the savings some so you have money for down payment and closing.
Yes.
I said, all right. Like I told you, we only working 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So I said, well, give me a part-time job.
Mhm.
And Home Depot, it just came in the area. So
Okay.
started working there. So like a year after working at Home Depot, 94, I bought my house.
Okay.
And just working at Home Depot, and then they talking like you said, we talking now, and that's how I'm on the cashier, and you got your regular customers. You say, hey man, what you doing? Like you working down at the end where the lumber is, and folks are coming every day with all this wood. What y'all doing? Oh man, we fixing up a house over here. And then I also saw in my neighborhood people fixing up houses.
Yes.
I'm like, that looks interesting.
Yes.
And this guy, I heard this guy on the radio this local guy on the radio who was actually at the time teaching real estate investing.
Okay.
So in 2002, me and my wife went and took his class. And the good thing about it was that what I liked about it was, one, he was local.
Yes.
So that meant that you had access to him. Because you got a lot of people that do this. They'll come in town for the weekend and teach a class.
Yeah.
So you really don't get no interaction with them. Then they leave. You done signed up.
Yeah.
And you get stuck. You calling out to Utah somewhere, but you getting people to answer the phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this dude is local, and he got a radio show every Tuesday, and he's doing this once a month. So if he wasn't legit, I'm sure somebody would have came and stepped to him by now.
Yes.
So I felt comfortable. And when I went, he said, well, look, let me introduce some people that working with me now on projects.
Okay.
And it was these twin brothers that came out.
Okay.
Well, the twin brothers, they came in my store all the time. I talked to them all the time.
Okay.
I'm like, oh yeah, I know them. So so I'm there. He gives a presentation, and he says, okay, it's a two day thing, 9 to 5, Saturday, Sunday. It's gonna take place at one of the properties that I'm fixing up, but
Okay.
it's fixed up to the point where the air conditioner works, all that. So it's like you're not sitting there hot and sweaty.
Yeah.
So they're like, it's $1,500. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, I knew it was something. So he says $1,500, and your spouse can attend for free.
Mm-hmm.
And the other bonus is that after the class, if you just partner with me and do one deal,
Okay.
in addition to whatever profit you make on the deal, I will give you your $1,500 back.
All right.
I said, okay, that sounds good. Now, my wife was out of town at the time for her job. So,
Yes.
one thing with us is, we just don't make financial decisions like that.
Yeah.
We talk about it. So
Yes.
the other thing was, I've been to seminars for different things where you go to seminar and they'll throw a price out at you. And if you don't do it right then, you want time to think about it. So you
Yeah.
call them 2 days later, like, well, nah, you gone now, so you can't get it. Or they didn't double the price, right?
Absolutely.
So I went to him after the thing, introduced myself, and I said, hey, you talked to my wife and the $1,500. Well, you talked to her about it, and this one of those things. He said, no. He said, no, you talk to your wife, do what you need to do, and when you're ready, we come on, sign up, take the class. He said,
Okay.
it'll be $1,500 today, it's $1,500 next week, it's
Okay.
$1,500 6 months from now.
Okay.
I said, all right. So told her about it, and I said, I'll tell you what we do. We wait till next month when he do the presentation so you can go and you can see the same thing I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did, and she saw. She's like, okay, all right. So went on, signed up, took the class. You know, we went to 2 days, come home. She pat me on my back, said, all right, go ahead and handle your business. So she ain't been to that's 2002. She ain't been to a club. She ain't been to a meeting. She ain't been to nothing since. But the thing is that she saw enough that made her confident and comfortable to say, hey, you go ahead and handle your business. Because I know a lot of people over the years that want to do this.
Yes.
And they not because either the husband or the wife is not on board. And you don't want to, they don't want to upset the household.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
great point right there.
So yeah, so that's what happened. I got into it then, and then you know, going to meetings, networking. It's a lot of at that time it was like 2 investor clubs in the DC area. Now it's a whole bunch of them. So networking everything. But what I decided to do was when I retired. You know, I retired in January 2021.
Yes.
So 2020, you know, I knew I was going to retire. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead. You know, then I started the company.
Okay.
You know, make this thing, quote unquote, legit, and do it under, you know, create a company and do it. So I started that.
What was the company name that you created?
So the company is called GEM, GEM.
Yes.
GEM Elite Properties LLC.
Okay.
And you know, the tagline is every home is a gem.
Got you.
So basically, you know, if you ride around, you know, some in the DC area, people ride around, you see on light poles and stuff, telephone poles, you get the sign, we buy houses and all that.
Yes.
I don't do that. But, you know, I got a website, and then also, you know, word of mouth to let people know.
Okay.
But, you know, we're looking for property to buy. And my thing is every home's a gem because, you know, we buy property pretty much in as-is condition.
Yes.
So that means they need work.
Yes.
But the thing is, you know, I'm very respectful of the people who are selling the property because the thing is, you might go to a house, you know, you go to a house and you're buying a property that, like I'm working on one right now with these 2 sisters. Their father died 2020.
Yes.
And so now they're going to sell the house. And so as is. So, you know, going there, the house needs a lot of work. You know, nothing's been done since back in the day. But we realize every house is a gem because when their father bought that property, I'm sure the property was very nice, you know.
Yes.
You know, I'm looking to think about the stuff that he had to go through probably to get to the point to be able to make that purchase. You know, I'm looking at myself, you know, when I bought my house, you know, like I said, I went to Home Depot, got the part-time job for a year. And then I remember how I felt when I bought my first house to live in.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, hey, every house is a gem, you know. So right now it might not look like it, but then when I get finished with it, it will be.
Yeah. Now let me ask this question to the listening audience. Why would you suggest to them that they create a LLC?
Well, I'm still working on this. Well, one thing is like the liability.
Yes. Okay.
Because if you got the LLC and it's structured right, and something happens, you know, they come after the company pretty much more so than coming after you personally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Now, would you encourage folks to go into real estate?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I think, to be honest with you, I think real estate investing is probably one of the best things to get involved with out there. And the reason why I say that is because if your mind is sharp enough to understand how everything works, then you can do it.
Okay.
So what that means is there's no physical limitations.
Yes.
To doing this.
Okay.
So you can have somebody that, I don't know, say you got somebody in a wheelchair, right? They can flip houses.
Okay.
You know, because this whole business is built on networking and relationships.
Yes.
You know, so the person got the wherewithal, they could go research houses and look up, maybe make phone calls, interview people, and then, you know, Kevin, they partner with you, right? You know, and you actually go and vet the contractors or whatever, but then y'all fix the house up and sell it or whatever you do, and then negotiate, okay, we're going to split the profits this way.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
If you a kid understands the concept. You can do it. Guys is, well, men and women, getting out of prison.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, because
That's why getting out of prison,
yeah,
and they can't. Nobody wants to hire them for a job because they got
Mhm.
felony or whatever. Hey, they can go ahead and start flipping houses,
Mhm.
and then you can work as often as you want or
Yeah.
as little as you want.
Yeah. Now, I guess my next question is, so you're in which areas are you looking to buy houses? Is it just the D.C. area? Is it the Virginia area? Is it Maryland? How far are you willing to go now?
Okay, so I'm in Bowie, Maryland, which is right outside Washington D.C.
Yep.
But pretty much, so that's in, for those that know, that's Prince George's County,
Mm-hmm.
which is right around, which is when you go out of D.C. into Maryland, that's one of the counties you go out into.
Yes.
So basically, what I tell people is, I'm definitely looking for properties in Washington D.C. itself, definitely in Prince George's County,
Okay.
and pretty much all around the Beltway. So if you look at a map of D.C. and you see the Beltway going around D.C.,
Yes.
so the counties of Virginia and all that, I'm looking at all those. Now, there's a lot of people here that they go up to Baltimore,
Mhm.
and they're doing investing and flips up there because the houses in Baltimore are a whole lot cheaper.
Yes.
But I'm really not interested in Baltimore right now. I'm not going to say I'm not going to ever be because I know some folks that have quite a bit of success up there. But the thing for me is I enjoy the process.
Yes.
Like I got a house right now that hopefully next week we will be done.
Okay.
And, the thing is to see it at the start, like when you buy it, like, I got it, the lady who had it and sold it to me, she took good care of the house.
Yes.
But it needed updating,
Yes.
and like one thing like the kitchen. So, I remember the kitchen that was in there, the cabinets, the flooring and all that. And then, we put a brand new kitchen in. So to see them go and the contractor call and say, hey man, yeah, we gutted the kitchen today. Then you go in there and everything's just ripped all out. There's plaster and the floor's all up.
Yeah.
You see that, and then you see them. You come back a couple of days later. Oh man, they put tile floor down. The tile you done picked out.
Yes.
Now you see it. And watching that process. So Baltimore, right now with traffic, man, it's like an hour ride each way.
Wow.
So I'm like, I ain't trying to ride back and forth to Baltimore
Yeah.
and check to see if the contractor's doing what he's supposed to do and all that.
Gotcha.
So I won't do Baltimore. But here's the other thing though. See, with the real estate investing, there's all different kinds of ways that you can make money.
Yes.
So the thing is, like, if you call me up and you say, hey, I know about this property in Baltimore and it's a real good deal, then what I'll do is I'm not going to Baltimore, but I know people who will.
Yeah.
So all I'm going to do is make a phone call and say, hey, I know somebody got property in Baltimore, and put y'all two together.
Got you.
And then collect the finder's fee.
Got you.
So you're getting paid now for knowledge.
Got you. I like that. And I needed to hear that because folks need to know you can always make money when you're networking and connecting people.
Right. And you see, the other thing too is you have people that have money.
Yes.
Right. You have people that have money in their retirement accounts or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like, I'm getting close to retirement and the stock market kind of shaky right now. And I don't want to risk my money. I'm looking for something else. And a lot of those people will lend money to investors to do their real estate deals. That's why, that's the thing. The thing is, it's like a lot of people want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you talk to them, like I say, you thought about flipping a house? Yeah. Well, why haven't you done it? Well, I want to, but I am as soon as I get my money right. Right? And then what happens is pretty much they never get their money right.
Yeah.
So they never do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the real estate investor, once you understand how it works,
yes,
it has zero to do with your personal financial situation.
Yes.
It's all driven on the value of the property.
Got
If the property is being bought at the right price
mm-hmm.
and being renovated for the right price and can sell at the right price, then there's people out there that will put the money up for you to do it.
Got you.
Because, what they do, they put the money up and basically, so they play the bank. So they're on there instead of Bank of America.
Mm-hmm.
And I lent Kevin Wortham money to do this deal. And I already vetted the house, right? I ran the numbers. Okay, Kevin, I'm going to loan you the money. Then I loan you the money, and then you go to St. Thomas somewhere, and I don't hear from you no more, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on there as a lender, so what I can do is I can foreclose on the house, right? Take possession of the house. I can either fix it up myself
yep.
and resell it, or I just go ahead and sell it because, see, the thing is, we're buying below value.
Mm-hmm.
So I could sell it to another investor, and when that investor pays, I get my money back. So your money is secured by the property.
Absolutely. Now, you know, the interesting thing, and I want to share this with you, is I'm hearing you use the word flip, and it doesn't sound that bad because I know you. But several years back, every time you heard the word flip, it just sounded like, you know, some scam deal was about to take place. You know, and I think for a lot of folks, as you just mentioned, it's about building relationships. But prior to me knowing you and a few other folks, every time I heard the word flip from someone else, I'm like, I'm not going to try to do that because it sounds like a scam, like somebody's trying to, you know, get rich scheme kind of thing. You know, because the word didn't, you know, the word to me didn't talk about something holistic or something with a lot of legitimacy to it. You know?
Right.
You know?
Right. And that's fair. That's fair. And you see that, you know, again, that's the whole thing about, I mean, it's just like you play football at Pitt, right? You play football at a major Division I school. And when you was up there, you know, like I tell people back then, Pitt was Miami before Miami.
Yeah.
You know, talent, the whole nine, you know, the level of play and all that. But if I came up there, y'all had practice, right? And I walked in there and just they say, come on, you can sit in with us, right? Y'all gonna be discussing and talking things in a language that we speak in English, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Absolutely, yes.
Terminology, whatever. We're gonna go into this formation, blah blah blah, right?
Yes.
And that's the same thing with real estate investment. Real estate investment got its own language, and once you get around it, then you're like, oh, okay, that's what it is. But unfortunately, in business, there's always some people that looking to get over on people. Because the thing is, these deals that we're getting, these people basically don't have no other way to go.
Gotcha.
You know, if everything was cool, hey, I would just make a phone call, get an agent to come and put a sign in the yard or not. You know, we don't want the neighbors to know, but put it on the MLS and sell my property that way. But my property got a hole in it. There's a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
You know, there's work that needs to be done that I don't have the money to pay to fix it up. Or it's a lot of trash in there or whatever. So I can't sell it the traditional route because I got to pay real estate commission. And once you put back these costs out, there's no money there.
Yeah.
So, you know, these people need some help. And some folks come in, you know, they see easy prey. And see, my thing is, I would rather lose a deal than take advantage of somebody. Because what I want to do is, you call me up and me and you come and we meet and I look at your house and I'm going to give you an offer. And the offer, you got a choice. You got three choices. You can say, you can accept it, you can reject it, or you can counter offer.
Yes.
And we go back and forth and let's say you say, nah, you know what, Mr. McKethan, now we're going to, I'm going to do something else. Fine, no problem. And what I tell people is I say, that's no problem. You know, you got any questions, you feel free to call me, or if that doesn't work out, call me back. Right? Because I don't want to come in there and I got more knowledge than you.
Yes.
And basically I take advantage of that.
Yes.
And then because whatever situation you're in right now, that's temporary, right? 3-4 years from now, your head is clear. You know, you're in a better space and you get to thinking, reflecting back. Like, man, that dude ripped me off.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want them bad vibes.
Yeah.
I'd rather, no, man, this is going on. These are your options. You can do this. You can do this. This is what I can do. And I'd rather you be like, you know what? That dude treated me right.
Yeah.
Because what I'm looking for is, you know, you got friends.
Yeah.
Right? So you got a friend might come up, hey, man, you know what? Man, my aunt died, left me this house, man. I don't want any of all this work. No, I was going to get rid of it. You know anybody? Yeah, give my man Gary a call.
No, I like the fact that you are an entrepreneur with integrity. I mean, if we have many more people out there, we wouldn't have some of the issues that we're dealing with right now. So, what other advice would you give for someone that's interested in property investment? What other advice would you give them?
So the thing is to get educated.
Yes.
But don't spend a lot of money on it initially.
Okay.
And because I'm sure up in Jersey, I know down here in D.C., like every so many months. This is before the pandemic. You like some of these people that's on HGTV.
Yes.
And these different shows. Like there's one show. I can't think of the name of the show right now.
Okay.
But the guy, there's guys that have made their names on these cable shows.
Yes.
And then you'll hear on the radio, hey, I'm coming Martin Luther King weekend.
Yes.
I'm having a free 2-hour seminar about getting started in real estate.
Yes.
And usually what happens, they'll come and they give a presentation. It's free.
Yes.
But it's not enough. It's enough information to whet your appetite, but not enough information really to do anything with.
Gotcha.
So then they say, in this little bit of time we can't, but know what we're going to do? We're coming back next month. And we're going to have, like my man, like the guy I had, we're going to do a 2-day class.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be $1,200.
Yes.
Right? So people go and they sign up for the class. Now, they don't have the guarantee like my man had, where it's like you do a deal, I'm going to give you your money back, $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go do that. And then they'll give them enough. They'll give them a little bit more, but then they'll hit them with, you need mentoring or coaching or whatever. Yeah. And we got this program. It's like $30,000.
Yeah.
So what people do, they're like, okay, well, if I do a flip and the profit on the flip is $60,000, $70,000, all I gotta do is one flip, I'm gonna get my money back.
Yes.
That's the logic. So they sign up, but then they don't follow through.
Mm-hmm.
The support's not there because the people are not local. They get frustrated, and then they're like, man, this ass don't work.
Yeah.
Right? And they give up. So that's why I'm saying don't put your money out there, because see now, you go on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You just go on YouTube and type in house flipping.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of videos out there. You got to screen them. Anything you want to know real estate related, anything you want to know is on YouTube.
Absolutely.
You want to look at how to bake a pie, how to tie a bow tie.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Yeah.
So you got YouTube, and pretty much every major city has at least one real estate investors club. Yes. And the club is really the place to be because you're meeting with like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, I've been doing this for a while. There's very few people in my close circle of friends that do this.
Yes.
And then, you have people that haven't done it, don't understand it, and they're trying to tell you it ain't going to work just based on their knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the club, like you say, okay, I heard there's a term used, there's one way to buy property, what they call subject to.
Yes.
And basically all it is I buy the house from you, but what I do is I take over your payments.
Okay.
So when February 1st comes, instead of Kevin Worthing sending the check to the mortgage company,
mm-hmm.
I'm sending that check, but the loan is still in your name.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's called subject to.
Gotcha.
Now, you might have heard about that. It was like, well, how that works? So now you go to the meeting, you go to the club, and you got a guy there that's all he does, man. I did 10 of those last year.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can pick his brain. Like, well, how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
And usually when you go to the club, you got people who are willing to share information and knowledge. Because you got people out here, too, that are successful. Like, man, I ain't telling him nothing, man. He ain't cutting in on what I'm doing over here. But the thing is, the more people you get involved in this,
yes,
the potential more deals you can do.
Yes.
So like I told you, I said, what, Kevin, I'm going to start doing Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, if I don't tell you that, then you start looking for me and you start calling and feeding me stuff.
Yeah.
But if I just say, I ain't telling Kevin nothing, I might be losing out on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the thing is to get educated. They usually call REIAs, REIA, which is Real Estate Investors Association.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And,
like DC is like DC REIA, Washington REIA, Charlotte REIA, Greater Pittsburgh REIA, whatever. If somebody just goes on Google and puts in REIA, REIA, Real Estate Investor Clubs near me, or Investor Clubs near me, and stuff will come up. See, like now in DC, like I said, in 2002, it was only 2.
Yes.
It's about 9 or 10 now in the DC area.
Wow.
Because a lot of people that was going to those clubs back then they started getting real successful, and then they start creating their own clubs.
Got you.
So, and see what I do, I try to get in as many of them as I can, because see, one club might be in one area,
mm-hmm.
It might be 20 minutes for me to get there, but it might take you an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah.
So you're not coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then it's a club closer to you that I might go there too, because I'm going to go there and I get to network with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now, because of the pandemic, folks is online, they doing Zooms, we doing Facebook Live, and hey, I got this class, Saturday at 10 o'clock, we doing XYZ, we doing subject twos.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I told one of my colleagues in the fall last year, I said, you know what I want to do is this year is find somebody that can teach me about creative finance.
Got you.
Different ways to buy properties creatively, legally, creatively, right? And find out how much they're going to charge. And this house that I'm doing now, I'm probably going to sell it and take some of the profits and maybe reinvest in the class, right? Yes. Well, it just so happens one of the ladies who come to our meetings, club in Cincinnati.
Okay.
She's doing an 8-week class on Wednesdays.
Okay.
On creative financing.
Okay.
And she decided to make it free.
Wow.
So I signed up. Like,
okay.
I think this Wednesday is class 6.
Okay.
Class 6. And the good thing is, it's like Wednesdays at 7 o'clock on Zoom. Then on Thursdays from 12 to 1, they got a separate Zoom section so you can go on there if you got questions. Because during the Zoom, they really don't have time to take questions. Yeah. So they come back Thursday, take questions. Then the other good thing is that, let's say you couldn't make it, right?
Yes.
Everything is recorded. So they send a link out afterwards.
Got you.
That you can download. So I got them all downloaded on the computer. Really, I've only attended one of them live. I've only seen 2 so far, but I got them all there. So when I'm ready, I can just plug in and watch them on my time.
Wow.
Yeah, and just go look, and attend. A lot of them are free. Some people are shy, don't want to talk or whatever. That's fine. Just go and absorb the info, and then, you can take it from there.
Now let me ask
Call me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Let me ask this question. So for people of color, is this a real way to create wealth? These real estate investment.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people. If you come, man, a lot of the folks here are black.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that it's a way for anybody to create wealth.
Okay.
It's a way for anybody to create wealth.
Got you.
I'll share an example of it. I did a deal 2019.
Yes.
I did a deal 2019, and what happened was, person passed away. So the daughter was the representative of the estate, right?
Yes.
The house needed about $65,000-$70,000 worth of work.
Yes. And
at the time, the neighborhood, the houses was worth about $335,000. Right. Well, when this person died, he owed $270,000 on his mortgage. So they listed the house for $299,000. And they said, hey, we're going to put the house up on the market, but why don't you go over and take a look at it, see if it's something you might be interested in. So I went and looked at it. I was interested in it, but at $300,000, and it's going to cost $60,000 to fix it up. The numbers don't work.
Yes.
Okay. So, like, all right. I said, well, no, thanks, but no, I can't do anything. The number's not right. Sorry. So one of the things they talk about is, you see a house you're interested in, you track it until either somebody else buys it or you buy it. See what happens, right? So that was like August. October rolls around, it goes under contract.
Okay.
So also, the daughter at the time was working in Africa.
Okay.
So she's handling everything overseas, right?
Yeah.
So I contacted her. I said, hey, I see you got under contract. Congratulations. I said, yeah, we're going to go close in a couple of weeks. I said, all right, well, congrats. January rolls around. I'm at the firehouse on the computer. I said, what that house sold for? Went online. The person that passed away, the house was still listed. I mean, the house showed him as the owner.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's strange. That should have been closed out. So I contacted the daughter. She's like, I am fed up. I said, what happened? She flew all the way from Africa, and the lady who was supposed to buy the house backed out.
Wow.
Canceled on her, right?
Wow.
So she's like, I'm done. I said, well, what you getting ready to do? She said, I'm talking to the bank now about them just taking the house. That's basically what they call a deed in lieu of foreclosure. So basically what it is you call the bank and say, look, man, you know what? This ain't working. Instead of y'all foreclosing, I'll just come bring you the keys.
Yeah.
Right? So I said, "Okay, what they say." So this was like, I said January. She said, "Well, they said they'll have a decision in March."
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Well, look, you know what? I think I can do something
Mm-hmm.
with that house, but we need to talk, and I explain you the process, and you're interested, we can go forward." So she said,
Yes.
"Okay." So basically, the whole thing was this: you ever heard of a short sale?
Oh, yes.
Do you know what it is?
I do as it pertains to stock, but not as far as houses.
Okay. So basically, what short sale is, you sell the property for less than what's owed on the mortgage.
Okay.
So remember, I said his loan was $270,000.
Yes.
So basically, you make an offer to the bank less than $270,000.
Got you.
And basically, it's like you got to present a case. So the bank is like, "Man, well, why are we gonna sell you the house for less than what? Man, he owe me $270.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we gonna sell you the house for less? Well, we gonna sell the house less because of this. $270. It's gonna cost $60 to fix it up. And these people, they ain't fixing it up. The daughter is the executor. She's not on the loan, so her credit's not under any risk,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if nobody pays this mortgage, y'all gonna foreclose. You're gonna foreclose on the house that's owed $270. You're going to come in and spend $60 to fix it up.
Mm-hmm.
And put it back on the market, because the way it is right now, ain't nobody gonna buy it from you.
Yeah.
So do y'all want to go through all that hassle, or do you want to sell it to Gary and his partner for $150?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did.
Okay.
We went and we set it up. We took pictures. Basically, what you got to do is say, okay, this is why you're going to sell it for $150, because it's going to cost this to fix it up. Here's the pictures. It's like mold.
Mm-hmm.
You got mold issues. You got this. This is collapsing. You play up all the bad parts about the house.
Yeah.
And because see, when these people, you call these banks, they looking at case numbers, and they're looking at numbers and loan amounts.
Yes.
Now I'm sending you a file. Now you're looking at pictures. We putting a personal face on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we did. Me and my partner, I had a partner. Matter of fact, the club that I was going to, he used to be one of the guys that ran the club, and he went on his own way, but we always stayed in touch.
Yes.
He's an expert at short sales.
Okay.
I ain't had no expertise. That's the other thing. Whatever you don't have, you can find somebody else that has it.
In the club. Yeah.
50% of something is better than 100% of nothing.
Absolutely.
So I called him, told him what I had. He said, "Oh yeah." Took him over there. We looked at it. He said, "I tell you what. Yeah, this is short sale all day long. We'll go ahead and put the ball in play and get this thing going. And whatever profit comes from here, we'll split it 70-30.
Okay.
I would get 70% and he would get 30%.
Okay.
So, like, okay. No, I'm sorry. 60-40. 60-40.
Okay.
We're doing 60-40.
Yeah.
I get 60%. Like, okay. So, he knew the agent that was good with short sales, and he knew how to do it. He took, I took pictures, and he put the he put the estimate together for the renovation.
Yes.
Put the package together. Yeah, the bank sent somebody out to look to make sure that, hey, one, the house is there and everything's on point.
Yes.
So we turned it into them, and they was like, hey, it's $150,000 based on this.
Mm-hmm.
The bank turned around and said, you got a deal.
Okay. All right.
So then what we did was, we wasn't fixing it up. We know other investors.
Mm-hmm.
We started making phone calls. And, the guy who I took the original class from in 2002,
yeah,
I called him.
Okay.
He came out, he looked at it, and he said, well, how much you want for it? I said, well, we want $210.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We want $210. He said, can you do $205? I said, let me check with my partner. My partner said, yeah. So it wound up being $200.
Okay.
So basically, we got him to accept, the bank accept $150.
Mm-hmm.
This guy comes in and buys it for $200.
Yep.
So me and my partner split $50,000.
That's all right. 60-40. That's
now,
all right.
Here's the thing. Through that transaction, neither one of us put up any money.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That deal, I spent $105.
Okay.
I paid $65 to a guy to come cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $35 to buy a lockbox
Okay.
to put on the front door. And I paid $5 to have a spare set of keys made.
Wow.
Because see, when the bank accepted the 150, then we got 30 days to close, and we immediately found somebody that was willing to pay more.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes at the settlement table with his money
within that 30-day period.
Right.
Gotcha.
And he came with his money. So the bank gets their 150, and then we get the difference. And then me and the guy, we split. We split it. We split the 50.
Wow.
And then what I did was the person who was executive of the state. Because here's the thing, on a short sale, basically they did the short sale. I mean, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
And then I was able to look out for them.
Wow.
But yeah, so what I'm saying is that it's an excellent way to create wealth. And then also that's the whole thing I'm saying about that had nothing to do with my personal finances.
Yeah. I
could have had no money in my pocket, but it's the knowledge of knowing what to do.
Absolutely.
And how to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the knowledge is out there.
But you know what, Eddie? That scenario that you just gave me and how you took me through that step by step, that was fantastic, man. It felt like I was in class listening to you. So you are a fantastic teacher, bruh. You are listen. So anytime you want to do an episode where we're actually teaching, and maybe we can integrate the podcast with Zoom, and that would be fantastic, man. That might be another revenue stream for you, bro. Because that was, man. I feel like I've walked away with knowledge just in those 15, 20 minutes.
Well, that's good. That's good. And that's something going forward. We could talk some more about that.
Yeah, that was,
because my thing is showing people, because, like I say, pretty much if you want, the only thing holding people back is themselves. If they want to do it and they got the interest and the knowledge, then I mean, I'm not saying it's all easy. Like this house I'm working on now, I bought this house. Actually, I bought the house January 8th last year.
Okay.
So I just had a 1-year anniversary, and the contractor. I mean, things come up.
Yeah.
Things come up, but the whole key is knowing your numbers and what they call buying right. So the contractor that I selected, I said, well, the work that needs to be done, how long is it going to take? And he said, it'll take about 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So he started the end of March.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, end of March. I'm like, okay, so all of April, all of May, no June in there, because sometimes when you're doing stuff comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's done, then I can start listening for rent, and hopefully I'll have somebody in here by August or September. Mm-hmm. Well, here we are in January.
Yeah.
He's not finished.
Yeah.
He's not finished. I mean, different things came up and personal issues and this, that, and the other. So, but the thing is that I can still be successful with this.
Yeah. So,
and then right now, like we went over there Saturday, I met him over there Saturday because I had sent him a list of stuff. It's like, well, look, this is what I see where we are right now, and nigga just taken care of as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, he said, well, meet me over there Saturday at 4 o'clock. And I went on Saturday at 4 o'clock, and pretty much, I think I may have had about 20 or 30 things on the list, and pretty much everything except for about 3 or 4 he done knocked out. So we almost done.
Got you.
But yeah. So like I say, things come up. So it's, it's not always cut and dry and smooth.
Yes.
But, when you know what you're getting into beforehand, I tell you it's going to rain at 8 o'clock. Then you don't listen to me, and then 8 o'clock come and rain. You ain't got no umbrella, and you out there all wet. That's one thing. But then you got your umbrella. Oh, yeah, Gary told me that. Boom.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't like that it rained, but now you prepared, so you good.
Absolutely. That was a simple but great analogy, man. Thank you, brother.
Right.
No, you have been so informative, man. I just thank you, man. So before we close out, right, here's what I need you to do. Mm-hmm. Give me your information so where people can reach out to you. How do you want them to reach out to you? Text message, email? How do you want them? Website? How do you want them to reach out to you?
Well, I got a the phone number, the business number is 240-389-3230.
Yes.
So 240-389-3230.
Yes.
Email is Gary at GEM, GEM Elite, ELITE, Properties, PROPERTIES.com. And then the website is GEMEliteProperties.com.
Got you. Brother Gary,
Yep.
Brother Eddie, this has been fantastic, man. Wow. Thank you. And suffice it to say, I don't think I've seen you in probably 25 years. I mean, we see each other on Facebook, but I mean, physically, it's about.
Well, no, I've been sooner than that. Remember that time?
Oh yeah, that's right.
That time we ran into you at the restaurant by the basketball arena. That's the last time I saw you.
That's right. Yeah, that's about 10 years then. Yeah, thank you. That's about 10 years.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we gotta do something about that too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you told me that you've got a retirement piece coming up.
Yeah, working on a So it's going to be delayed retirement / 60th birthday party.
All right.
So the thing is, that's the other thing with the fire department. Like when you retire, so basically what happens with the fire department when you retire is that somewhere around close to around your last shift that you work, then the people you work with usually have a dinner for you. They have a dinner for you at the firehouse, and like your immediate family comes, and then they say, hey, we having a dinner for Kevin on January 23rd, right?
Yes.
And then like other people, not guys, men and women that you work with, current and retired, they come. So it's like a firefighter family thing.
Got you.
Right. And then some people, what they do after that, then they'll throw a party.
Got you.
Like party, paid admission type thing.
Yeah.
So my thing was, one thing was the fellas, they gave me, the ladies and the fellas, they gave me a dinner at the firehouse, but it was January last year, so that was still in COVID because infection rates and stuff. It couldn't be the one. It was small.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my wife and daughter didn't go because I didn't want them to come down there and potentially risk catching something. So
absolutely,
it was real small. And then the other thing was I'd already made my mind up that prior to the pandemic, I wasn't going to have a retirement party in the wintertime because it'd be just my luck.
Yeah, get a snowstorm.
A snowstorm. So I said, well, you know what I'm going to do? One of my other former coworkers, I went to his party. He had like an afternoon day party from like 4 to 8.
Yes, sir.
And it was awesome. I said, well, you know what? That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So
I was going to do it last May, but at the time, the contract payment had to be into the facility by March. Mm-hmm. So that means, I got to start selling tickets January and February. And January and February, the COVID numbers wasn't buying. I'm like, man, people ain't buying no tickets. So then I just put the whole thing off until this year.
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be this May.
Yeah, a little bit of go-go, a little bit of house music going on. We'll be all right.
Yeah, a little house. Yeah, when you come, we're going to have some house just for you.
Listen, I'm going to bring my...
Because I can't...
What are you going to say, Eddie?
I'm going to say, because, down here in D.C. every now and then you listen to the radio, they'll throw some Colonel on.
Yeah. Then that's all we need.
Every time I hear Colonel, Kevin Word with the box cut, with them full-size refrigerator speakers.
That's all right, brother. But listen, man, there is so much we can continue to talk about, and we're going to do that. But for now, Brother Eddie, I'm going to wish you nothing but success. God blessings, man. Let's talk and text and stay connected, brother.
All right, my brother.
All right, thank you so much, man. This has been real. Thank you so much. This is the Entrepreneur Enclave. I am Kevin Wortham, your host. Thank you, Gary, for being a wonderful guest this day.
That concludes another episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. We look forward to you joining us for our next one. Until next time.